Title: Eye of the Storm by Ukeresh Azubike.
Chapter 20. The Grove of Remembering. The mirror has many eyes. They say the forest of Ouidah remembers every footstep. Every leaf that falls becomes a whisper, and every whisper a story. In that place, time does not flow, it circles. It was there, after weeks of wandering through endless green and the ache of half-silent fear, that Imezi and Kezie stumbled upon a grove unlike any other. Massive Iroko trees arched above them, their roots coiling like the backs of sleeping serpents. The air smelled of salt and incense and old songs. Strange blue birds with red throats darted through shafts of sunlight, their wings shimmering like fragments of dream. The villagers called it Obodo Nduncheta, the place where life remembers. The elders of Ouidah. They were brought to the elders by hunters who had watched them fight off a shadow beast the night before. The hunters had whispered of their glowing swords, of light cutting darkness, and so the priests of the grove summoned them at dawn. 6 men and women sat in a circle, their faces painted white and gold. In their midst burned a small flame that neither smoked nor consumed. The eldest, a woman whose eyes seemed to hold centuries, spoke first. "You carry the dawn, but you also carry its shadow." Imezi bowed slightly. "We seek the Mirror of Uwa." The elders exchanged knowing glances. One of the younger priests, a man with a voice like wind through reeds, said, "The mirror cannot be sought. It reveals itself when it wills. It is both question and answer." And neither, Kezie frowned. "We've heard riddles before. We need truth." The elder woman smiled faintly. "Truth is a riddle that has forgotten it was once a song." Imezi's patience wavered. "Please, we've lost too much already. Tell us what it wants." The woman rose slowly and gestured for her to follow. She led them to a large stone, smooth as still water, half buried among the roots of an ancient Iroko. Symbols were carved across its surface. Spirals, suns, eyes, waves. "This is where the first of your kind were born." "Our kind?" Kezie asked, his hand tightening on his sword. She nodded. "Children of the storm, beings made when the Creator's tears met the fire of the earth, each one bound to a purpose, to heal, to guard, to remember." Imezi's breath caught. "And the mirror?" The woman turned to her, gaze deep and sorrowful. "The Mirror of Uwa was once whole, but pride shattered it into 7 reflections. Each piece hides in a different truth of humanity: love, faith, knowledge, pain, duty, death, and rebirth. You have found the path of pain. The next will demand choice, the temptation of power." That night, as the grove slept, Imezi awoke to a sound like a heartbeat beneath the soil. She followed it beyond the grove, to a clearing where moonlight fell on a pool so clear it reflected the stars like jewels. When she knelt, the water rippled, and her reflection changed. She saw herself standing on a hill of bones, her sword blazing gold as thousands knelt before her. Her eyes glowed, her voice commanding the wind. In that vision, she was no longer human. She was beyond. Then Another reflection appeared beside hers. Kezie, older, his face shadowed with sorrow. He looked at her not as ally, but as stranger. "You can end their suffering," whispered a voice from the water. Soft, ancient, seductive. "You can unmake the cruelty of men. Stop the slavers. Stop the wars. All it takes is to look deeper. Let the mirror see through you." Her hands trembled. She could feel the power pressing against her chest, the weight of possibility, vast and terrible. Then Kezie's voice came from behind her. "Imezi?" She turned. He stood there, sword in hand, eyes calm but firm. "Don't," he said. She swallowed. "You don't understand. It's not evil, Kezie. It's truth. We can use it." "Truth," he said, stepping closer. "Or control. You think because you've seen centuries of pain, you get to decide how the world should be?" Her anger flared. "And you think standing aside makes you righteous?" "No," he said quietly. "It makes me human." The words struck her harder than any blade. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then, she turned back to the pool, but the reflection was gone. The water was still again. Only her own weary face stared back. At dawn, the forest trembled. Birds erupted from the canopy, and a foul wind swept through the grove. The priests began to chant, drawing circles of salt and ash. "They come!" one shouted. "The broken ones!" The shadows of the first fire. Kezie and Imezi drew their swords as darkness spilled into the clearing like ink. The other ones had followed. Dozens now, howling, writhing, their forms barely holding shape. The priests fought with chants and charms. Hunters loosed arrows tipped with fire, but the shadows kept coming. Imezi's sword flared again, brighter this time. Not yet full dawn, but enough to cut through the nearest beast. Kezie fought beside her, every strike an echo of ancient rhythm. One shadow lunged at the elder woman. Imezi turned too late, but a flash of gold seared the air and the creature disintegrated. "Thank you for stopping me." He smiled faintly. "You'd do the same." As the sun rose, its first light touched their blades. And for a moment, both flared in unison, glowing brighter than ever before.